Today, I'm using Dollar Tree wood cutouts to create a full set of Christmas DIY ornaments that look great from all sides, can be split up or used together. And at the end, I'm turning a lucky find into the cutest Christmas decor ever. I'm Melissa, and this is CraftCrumbs. Thank you for joining me. I started by painting 6 of these more rectangular shaped wood frames in a metallic gold. It's called Emperor's Gold, and the paint I used was Deco Art's Dazzling Metallics. You can see the sheen on this is absolutely stunning. Once they were dry, I was ready to start putting them together. I had some of the fabric left over from last year. Now, this fabric, you can buy an entire pack of it at Walmart pretty much year round for around $10. And that would be an excellent choice if you're using a lot of this kind of fabric. But last year, I noticed rolled up with the other fabric at the Dollar Tree these individual prints. They were fat quarters, though, opposed to getting a yard of each different pattern at Walmart. A much more affordable way of buying it if you only need a small amount. I've cut the fabric into ovals to cover the open area inside the wood frames and glued the fabric using regular school glue. I'm going to add a hanger. This is a very thin twine. It's metallic and gorgeous. And I don't want to add any bulk, so I'm going to make sure that those ends of the hanger are side by side. You don't want them kind of crossed over each other. We want to eliminate any possibility of bulk. I'm going to use Dollar Tree wood glue to go around the edges of each one of these inner frames, and then a paintbrush, a very old dingy paintbrush, because I can never get glue out of them once I get glue in them. So that's why you don't see me using a paintbrush very often to apply glue, because I can never get the glue entirely out of them. It's like a ruined brush suddenly. I'm just going to feather that glue out again, preventing any bulk, and then these two sides will come together. I'm going to set it aside for about 15 minutes to dry. That glue is dry, everything's holding firm, and it's time to add the finishing touches. I had some of these beads in my stash. I truly do not know where I got them, but I'm going to just try to make the bead, one single bead on the top of here, correspond as much as possible with the plaid pattern inside the frame. And I'm just going to add a little bit of holly and other details as I go. Here I'm showing you that you can add one of the little deer, one of these Dollar Tree stars, or even a sticker, which is like this little poinsettia. Either way, very cute. I'm going to go with the deer. I'm using Crafter's Collection and painting in the color Warm Brown. I used antique white paint to go over the hooves, the horns, and over the body of the deer with a light dry brushing. I'm going to add the deer to the ornament using wood glue. Sneak up on you, so it's not a bad idea to clip them down for a few minutes. And now when everything's dry, I'm going to come back and add some of this holly. I'm going to rip off a leaf because I think it makes it fit around that bead a little bit better. But I'm going to add the holly to both sides. On the opposite side of the ornament, I'm going to use a couple of these poinsettia stickers that I had in my stash. These I picked up from Hobby Lobby last year. They do have them again this year, but the ones that I saw were slightly different and about half the size. So I'll have to check back and see if they have this size again. I used the same metallic gold paint that was on the frame to dot an eye on each of the deer, and here they are complete. I love the contrast and different textures on these ornaments. Now be a sweetie and let me know what you think about these. And we are moving on to yet another Christmas DIY ornament using the same shape. Don't worry, we're going to get to another shape in just a few minutes. I'm going to incorporate 2 tumbling tower blocks into each one of these ornaments because this is going to be a double decker. I'm just using hot glue here, but I do take that back a little later off camera and change it out for wood glue when it snaps apart. So where you see me using hot glue right here, please just save yourself the trouble and use wood glue. I wanted to put bells inside of these, but these real bells that I have are just too large. So to improvise, I'm going to pull out this thrifted, tangled mess of bells that I bought at the thrift store and just cut a few of these off and use them in the project. I'm just kind of gauging fit, and then I'll take these outside and give them a coat of metallic gold spray paint. While the bells were drying, I gave both of these double-decker frames a coat of antiquing wax and wiped away the excess. And now I'm ready to come back. Look how nice these bells look. I can't even believe the difference between the old ugly silver and these. Unless you touch these, you'd never know that they were plastic. I embellished them with the leaves that were left over from our first project and some of these dried potpourri berries that I had in my stash. And now I'm just going to use those pre installed chains that I cut off with the bell and hot glue those to the inside of the frame. There are two strands holding these bells together, so I'm going to glue one part of the strand to the back of the frame and the other to the front of the frame so the bell hangs center middle without any issues. These ornaments will sit on their own, but I'm going to add a hanger so that I have options. Here they are complete. And while I only made a few of each of the ornaments you'll see today, there are a few that I intend to make more of, and this is definitely one of them. Let me know what you think about this unique Christmas DIY, and if you're enjoying the video, give it a thumbs up for me. We're moving on to yet another Christmas ornament DIY. After I made these and love them, I wanted to expand on that idea a little bit and created this. So this is the exact same frame shape. It does stand on its own. However, this one I meant specifically for it to hang. I poked a few holes here with my crocodile. Fed some twine through it, and this is a twine that I picked up off of Amazon. It fits nicely in there. And tied it around and added a little reindeer charm here. This is just scrapbook paper, and these are the little trees. You may recognize them from the Dollar Tree. On the opposite side, I did the same, but had some of these little deer that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, I believe, last year, and put one of those on there. So this one's really kind of a woodland theme. I poked holes at the top of all the Christmas trees and put a little light inside. And then, loving this idea where I poked the holes and put the rope through, I came up with these two as well. Now this one is actually a knot, whereas this one kind of like loops through and comes back out on this one. This is actual knots. And this is a Dollar Tree bell. Now these are all done in dark colors because that's the theme of my tree this year, but you could totally paint these white, gold. You could even do blue if blue is your Christmas color. Whatever your Christmas tree colors and themes are, you can do with these. Just take the ideas and run with it. This one I look at it and love it one minute and look at it and think it's a little crazy the next, but I used my crocodile and put holes on the corners, 3 on each corner. This is some paper I made myself. Popped on a little sticker from Hobby Lobby that's a poinsettia. It's pretty thick, pretty three-dimensional, and I love that. And then this is the back, so it was a double-sided piece of paper. So these are all ideas that spun off of this one. So this one spun from this, and then these two spun from this idea of the rope coming through. Now, instead of using the rope or the twine, if you would rather use something like hemp cord, that would work. I do have a small piece of red left, which is probably why I didn't do it, because I didn't have enough red left. You could also use something more frilly like this, especially if you go with a light colored theme, so you can put that through the holes. Now I will tell you that all of these have the 3/16 hole punch in it,
And then this is the smaller, which I think is 1/8 of an inch hole punch with the crocodile. You could also do these small pieces that come in the packs of, like from Hobby Lobby and Michael's if you buy the trim. So this is similar to this, but I typically get, different kind of frilly little things from there and then put them in these individual packs so they don't get lost and so they don't get tangled in other things. Okay, I don't know what this is doing out here, but or why I would have thrifted this at $1.99. But this is essentially what we went with, but these are just some other ideas.
Please let me know what you think about these. And have you ever created something and then it spun off into 100 different ideas? I mean, these could go and go all day long. I could really just sit and make things like this, one right after another, and never get bored. I think that these are just so special. I picked up a few packs of these wood Christmas tree ornaments from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use 6 of them in this project. I used 3 different shades of green to paint the trees, and I'll use glitter glue to embellish them. Glitter glue is a very affordable way to add glam to your projects, and the dispenser is typically designed to make the application very easy. The glitter pens came in a variety pack from Walmart, and then I also picked up some of these larger bottles because these are just colors that I'm going to use more often. Dollar Tree does have a version of their own in the same size bottle, so you can check those out. They actually had a copper color that I picked up because I couldn't find that at Walmart, and I'm excited to use it in Christmas DIYs of the future. Watch as I give these trees an adorable design using the glitter glue. The applicator was not as narrow on the glitter pens, so I ended up going in with the micro brush and kind of smoothing out where I felt I had too much. And I'm going to use another micro brush to apply the gold glitter to the stars on each one of these ornaments. After letting these dry overnight, I come back to examine them, and I'm really just not feeling the different shades of green. I really like the way the colors pop off of this darker shade of green. So I think I'm going to make my life more difficult and go back in with a fine tip paintbrush and change the color of these 2 others to the dark green. And then once that's dry, I'll come back in and add a few extra elements. I'm adding a few flat back gems that I picked up from Amazon to make it look like lights are glistening on this tree. Here they are complete. I do like all of them in this darker green shade. You can play with these and make them as interesting as you like. Now, this middle one without the diamonds, or the gems, I should say, this one has a little glumped up paint on it, and I am probably going to end up tossing that, but we'll see. I hate to see the little guy be an outcast just because of my indecisiveness. When I grabbed these snowmen from the Dollar Tree, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, but I knew I didn't want it to involve painting or just simply drawing on details. In fact, I wasn't even sure if I wanted it to have details at all. Contrary to what you may think, I do sometimes go after a more simple design. You'll see. This is my scrap bin where I throw anything and everything that's left over from projects inside. I thought it was a good opportunity to use some of this stuff up because this pile just keeps growing. Let me pause for a minute, please. This is what it sounds like outside my house right now. I'd like to say that's a helicopter above my house dropping cash, but no, that's just motorcyclists driving by, revving their engines as they do, trying to be seen, trying to be heard, because they're so cool. They know I'm in here doing a voiceover. All of this is pretty self explanatory. I'm just adding different textures, colors, and patterns in a way that I think makes sense. I'm doing sort of a rough cut just to get the excess paper and fabric off of the snowman. Gosh, I hope I pronounced that right. In one of my last videos, someone pointed out that I was misusing access and excess, assuming that I didn't know the difference. We're all over 18 here, so I assume that we all know that people pronounce things differently based on where you might be from, how you were raised, etc. It's important to remember that this content is free for the viewer. That means nitpicking is not allowed. I mean, you can nitpick if you want. I have thick skin, it doesn't bother me, but I might call you out on it in the next video. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Some people just cannot resist the urge to point out something that somebody else is doing or saying incorrectly. My mama had a name for those people, but it's not appropriate for YouTube. I'm just going to color in the carrot with a paint marker and then I'll Mod Podge over the entire piece. Once that is totally dry and everything is nice and firm, I'm going to go in with a craft knife and remove any and all edges that shouldn't be there. I'm going to bunt these up against each other, much like I did in some of the earlier DIYs, but this is not necessary. You could totally add the strips of fabric and paper to both sides of one snowman to extend the number of snowman ornaments you end up with. I'm doing this strictly because I like them to have girth. I often take two of the same items from the Dollar Tree and put them together just to make them a little bit more sturdy and last a little longer than they typically would. If you had one single layer of one of these ornaments and you stepped on it, it would probably crack in half, but not so much when they're doubled up. So that's the idea. Here they are complete. What do you think about these? I think if you look at them from a very far distance, they could be pretty. These, yeah, I like them. I don't want to say that I don't like them. I like the different textures and all that jazz. I just don't know. I think maybe if I would have spent a little more time on them. I covered the snowman face in a Chipotle napkin in two of them, and that's what I think I'm having issue with. Maybe I can do something with that. Maybe I'll just paint over it. I'm not sure. This last Christmas ornament is my absolute favorite, and I saved it for last because it's not a Dollar Tree ornament. These are very easy to find, especially around Easter. I've had these in my stash since earlier this year and wanted to turn them into a Christmas ornament. I went outside and sprayed them in a beautiful shade of copper with Rust-Oleum spray paint. And I'm bringing them in after they dry. Believe it or not, they didn't take very long to dry at all. I'm going to embellish these and make them look absolutely stunning. Just watch. I have this star garland that I picked up from Timu a long, long time ago and haven't used it for anything until now. But I'm cutting these into small pieces and using them instead of a bow. These miniature candy canes came from Hobby Lobby, I believe. They carry these year after year, so even if I say I've had it a few years, they're typically still there. How cute are these? Oh, here I'm just simply adding another metallic ribbon like I have on all of the ornaments before this and making them match. So if it has a green ribbon around the basket, it's going to have a green hanger. Here they are complete. Are these not absolutely precious? Oh my gosh. I had these baskets displayed just like this in this very spot for more than a week, and every time I walked by them, I just had to stare. It's just one of those little things that'll make you smile. Let me know in the comments what you think about these adorable little Christmas ornament baskets. Here's a look back at what we created today. And they are all Maisie approved. Thank you so much for staying until the end. You're the best part of this channel. If you're in the mood for more Christmas ornaments or Christmas DIYs in general, check out one of these videos next. And until next time, my friend, don't forget to craft what you love.